The Beaver is the weekly newspaper of the LSE Students Union at the London School of Economics, England. The Beaver has a strong tradition of hard-nosed, intelligent reporting. Around 2,500 copies are published and distributed around campus every Tuesday as well as online. The Beaver is governed by the Collective, a body of students who have contributed 3 or more written pieces of photographs to the paper and elects the editorial staff. The paper is made up of sections for news, comment, features, the city, the union, the NAB and sport, as well as an arts and culture supplement. Part B. History. Named after the school's mascot, the beaver, which was chosen as representing an industrious animal with social habits. The Beaver newspaper was first published in its recognized format on the 5th of May 1949, and is the oldest student newspaper in the UK. The British Library of Political and Economic Science holds print and digital archives of the paper dating back to this first issue, which was christened by George Bernard Shaw, one of the LSE's founders. Since then it has gone through several makeovers, survived LSE's turbulent history and emerged to be one of the most respected and widely read student newspapers in the UK. News. The Beaver's news section has consistently been among the strongest in UK student media, consisting of LSE, University of London and higher education stories from across Britain, frequently being quoted in the national press. A recent example concerned the story of the LSE Council having discussed the option of privatisation, which was subsequently reported by a number of national newspapers including The Guardian. Comment publishes pieces discussing issues that are relevant to the LSE community, political analysis, social commentary, original cartoons, and debate. The extensive range of articles and letters featured reflects the broad readership of the paper. Contributions to the comment section have been wide-ranging and varied, from former LSE director Sir Howard Davies to lay students. The name of the section was changed from Opinion to Comment in 2013. Features. The features section of the paper deals with international relations, politics and strategic affairs. Interviews were a quintessential part of the features section until 2015, and previous interviews conducted by Tariana Oduya have been with Economics Nobel Prize winner Amartya Sen, ministers such as Marcelo Neri, the former Brazilian Minister of Strategic Affairs, North Korean defector Ian Saoli, Dr. Mattia Romani, Managing Director for Country and Sector Economics at the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, as well as the head of the AOM NGO from Liberia during the peak of the Ebola crisis, and academics such as German historian Sonke Neitzel. Other prominent interviewees in the past have been Sir Nicola Stern and Queen Laura of Jordan, and ambassadors such as the Lithuanian ambassador to the UK. Part B. Launched in 2005, Part B is the Beaver's arts and culture supplement. It contains sections dedicated to music, film, literature, theatre, fashion, visual arts, food, television and satire. It regularly contains interviews with prominent cultural figures as diverse as Alan Bennett, Gerald Scarfe, M83, Nigel Slater, Stuart Lee, and Nick Hayward of Haircut 100. The following year, Part B was shortlisted for Best Student Magazine in the Guardian Student Media Awards. The Union, launched in 2015 by former executive editor Ellen Wilkie. The Union aims to provide students with an insight into the inner workings and aims of the LSE SU. Interviews, launched in 2016 by current executive editor Tariana Oduya. Notable interviews have included the president of of Kiribati Hihano-Tong. Vice President of Panama Isabel de Saint-Malo de Alvarado. Former Syria Finance Minister Yanis Varoufakis. London Bureau Chief of the New York Times Stephen Erlanger. Executive Director of the Drug Policy Alliance Dr. Ethan Nadelman. Winner of the 2015 Young African Achiever Award James Woods Gutabesa, and Director of LSE Ideas Dr. John Collins, amongst others. Sports. The sports section has a mix of match reports from LSE teams and comment on world sports. Has courted controversy in the past with its traditionally dismissive approach to the sporting efforts of rival universities. Highlight of the year was traditionally the last sports section before Christmas, containing photos of the Athletic Union barrel. This caused particular controversy in 2005 after printing a photo of LSE director at the event, which ended up causing considerable damage to King's Strand campus in December 2005. In 2000, the Beavers' James Mythen won Sports Writer of the Year at the Guardian Student Media Awards. The City. In 2014, John Alsop, with managing editor Alexander Fife, founded the City section, a section designed to report and provide comment on the affairs of City. This was in order to engage some of the more business and economics-orientated students of the LSE. Notable former contributors: Richard Bacon, a former executive editor, now Conservative Member of Parliament for Norfolk South; James Corbett, former political editor, now contributing editor of the Observer Sport Monthly and author of Everton, The School of Science and England Expects. EKOW and edited both Features and Arts, now the artistic director of the Institute of Contemporary Arts, and a contributor to BBC Two's Newsnight Review. Simon Garfield, a former executive editor, now journalist and author of Mauve and Our Hidden Lives. Stephen F. Kelly, contributor, then producer Granada Television, now author and broadcaster. Paul Klebanov, a former editor, first editor of Forbes' Russian edition, was shot dead on a Moscow street late at night on July 9, 2004 by unknown assailants. Bernard Levin, early contributor to the newspaper, particularly of theatre reviews. John Stathatos, a former executive editor, is a photographer, writer and art critic whose publications include The Book of Lost Cities and A Vindication of Ton Photography and AMP. The Fantastic. Justin Webb, a former editor, was the BBC's chief Washington correspondent, now presents the Today programme on BBC Radio 4. Simon Gardner, a former treasurer and now a prominent philanthropist,